As a swift and graceful start, authorities managed to screw up their electoral system, and in order to have a vice president have a vote less than the president, a Republican was supposed to drop a vote. However, they forgot, leaving Jefferson and Aaron Burr in a tie. Guess who solved the problem?
Alexander Hamilton. Got yourself a problem, can Alexander handle it?
Alexander was the one. It's a shame he died later to Aaron Burr's gun. Jefferson wanted to make the government and military smaller, as well as lower taxes, just like every presidential candidate these days.
We are going to be cutting taxes massively, and that's massively.
As well as improve agriculture. First, he began very well, achieving most of his goals. However, Jefferson was not a perfect human, such as yours truly. Jefferson artistically created what was called the embargo, which shut off America's trade from foreign ports to protect American impressment from the British. It failed miserably due to lack of export. Jefferson was also racist and put the whole country in danger by having a tiny navy. Other than that, he did a pretty decent job starting up the country. He sort of improved lives for the people as he improved the tax system and lowering budgets. He began agriculturally improving America and did his best to make the mess that is the government a little bit less of a mess.
Survey said.
However, arguably the most impactful thing that Jefferson did during his time in office was spend money.
We're going to build a wall.
Napoleon needed money, wanted to sell the Louisiana Purchase, and Jefferson wanted to buy it. He did for only $250 million worth in today's money, $15 million back then. Then he sent Lewis and Clark to check it out. They went past the bought land all the way to the Pacific, which was illegal, but as every great historic American leader always said, whatever. This quite literally makes up most of our country today, and he bought it at half of Tom Brady and Gisele Bündchen's combined net worth. That's a solid deal, if you ask me. The impressment that Jefferson tried to stop with the embargo, but failed to, was what Americans used as an excuse to go to war. Americans fought under the belief, and at what this point seems like a truth, that the British were attempting to regulate and fix American trade for their benefit. Americans at the time were also treating Native Americans really poorly, and rumors spread that the British were encouraging Native Americans, and seemingly out of spite. Americans' army was awfully lackluster, but luckily for them, the British were busy fighting Napoleon. They kind of won, but not really. It depends on who you ask. America also tried to take over Canada. They won, and they used it as a place of refuge in case a crazy man was elected president. Just kidding. They never got it due to terrible strategy, but it still does serve that same purpose to this day. Nothing happened as a result of the creatively named War of 1812. A contract was written up, but none of it was carried out. The benefit of this could be found in the beginnings of the military of the U.S. It showed the country what they were made of, which at that point was not very much. They were showed steps they needed to take, and it shaped our military for the future. Today we have a military on the stronger side. Hopefully. You know what I love more than War That Leads to Nothing? Hamilton. Spectacular cast. Great show. Also, War That Leads to More Land is always helpful to a selfish developing nation. The Manifest Dynasty was a God-given right to take over all land from Atlantic to Pacific, and was also the excuse America used to go to battle with Mexico, or as referred to by one specific political leader,
Bad hombres.
After being traded hands a few times due to the people of Texas wanting independence, Texas became a lone republic, then found some friends, unlike me, and joined the United States of America. After some drama regarding slave and free state balances in Senate, they split Oregon as an equalizer, and Texas was a state. After trying to acquire California over the counter by buying it, Mexico said no, at which point America had to get a prescription. Actually, I think they just went to war. After America tried to gain the land, they kind of failed, but not if you ask an American. Then they took over Mexico City, at which point Mexico finally handed over what the greedy Americans wanted. The Americans got mad and decided to build a wall. Just kidding, that would be stupid, right?
We're going to build a wall.
After expanding to California and finally owning land from Atlantic to Pacific, the government couldn't figure out whether California was to be a free or slave state, which was unfortunately later decided by the Civil War. Many people argue that getting this land from Mexico, as well as the daunting task of ridding the nation of slavery, led to the Civil War. The Mexican-American War sets up our country for a huge part of our history, which gives a whole different meaning to a divided nation than what we think of now. It also gave us something very interesting to talk about in history class. So, I'll see you for the next video on the Civil War, which actually only happens if Miss Hale wants a next video.
Bad hombres here, and we're going to get them out. We're going to win big league.